Hello everyone, Bubbli here with another TF2 Talks. Today I'm going to be talking about the recording process and what I go through, my methodology when recording to get gameplay for a video. This of course doesn't apply to what I do live because, I mean, how can it? That's just live footage, that's the audio that was happening at the time, that's the video that was happening at the time, it's uncut, that's self-explanatory. I'm talking about how I do these, pre-recorded video gameplay commentaries where I do a separate voiceover at a later date, like I'm doing right now. So I'll just go ahead and start talking about that. So the process, the ideology, the method to doing this that I take is, I don't want to use mediocre footage at all if I can help it. I want to use the best footage I can get while still not, trying to get like godlike kill streaks and only displaying those as footage, because that would take a long time, especially for someone like me who's not the best player at the game but who's still pretty good. So in order for me to get a good amount of footage that I can use in a 5 to 10 minute video or something like that, I need to basically record for about 2 hours. At around 2 hours, that is the amount of time I can spend in TF2 where I can make 5 to 10 minutes of good footage that I'm willing to show. And that seems like it's not a lot of percentage of time at all. And yeah, that's kind of true. And a lot of that is because those 2 hours that I am recording, I'm not recording the entire 2 hours. Usually I just have fraps on my computer, it's bound to a hotkey, and when, I'm dead and I'm waiting for respawn, I turn it off, or if I'm changing maps, changing loadouts, I don't record that. So that already cuts out, maybe a good 20 minutes of stuff-ish of that 2 hours. And then, there are just some lives I don't record. I usually wait a second on a server, do a round maybe before I start recording to make sure things are gonna work. So in that 2 hours, there's probably 45 to a half an hour minutes-ish of stuff that just isn't recorded at all. Which leaves me with about an hour to an hour and a half of footage to sift through to make this. And a lot of times, this applies mostly to Spy, there's just a lot of dead space in footage, between kills where you're still alive for like, I don't know, a 3-minute life. You start out, you walk out of spawn, you get, 2 or 3 kills, and then you move on. There's like a minute and a half of nothing, but then you get another spectacular kill at the end, and it's like, what do you do with that clip, You want to use that clip, you want to show what happened in the same life, but you can't really, and so that's where you have to make difficult decisions. There may be clips where, you get a lot of kills, and there's some pretty cool kills in there, but it only happens like once every 30 seconds, and it would be really boring to watch that, waiting for the spectacular moments. Like, people who know what they're doing, people who have experience with YouTube will show you continuous action. Because there's no point in just showing, like, a cloak and dagger spy just waiting for someone. Like, Stabby, who's an amazing spy, in all of his videos, if you ever go see him, it's, constant backstabs. He probably shows, like, 75 backstabs for a 6-minute video. It's just the entire, like, whole deal of trying to get the backstab, getting into position, that's all cut out. Same with like Sniper and NG and stuff. I'm not going to show that because, no one wants to see the setup. It's all about, that's another thing. I don't record setup time usually. Sorry, tangent. Blah. ADHD. I wish I had it, but I don't. No, I don't wish I had it. What am I doing? Is that a baseball? I'm sorry. But yeah, negative space and time and just things that are not worth showing. That gets cut instantly, so, that cuts your footage down to about 30 minutes, and there are some clips that are just bad. Like, you record some lives, and, they're over in, like, a minute or so. They're over in, like, 30 seconds with no kills, whatever. Those are instant cuts. That's just a straight delete button. I mean, the clips I was just talking about, the ones where they're just slow, those are the ones you keep around for a little while. They're not instant cuts. I misspoke because I'm an idiot, and I'm tired, and I'm lazy. Why am I saying these things about myself? I'm sorry, I'm very distracted today. I don't know what it was. I had some, like bagel pita chips with hummus. It was like the healthiest food I've eaten this entire summer because I'm just a lazy butt who just sits around. I had McDonald's yesterday and I can still feel the grease oozing out of my skin and I love it, but okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting very distracted, so I'm just gonna take a quick drink of water. back on track. Recording process, right? And yeah, so those are clips I try to keep around, the ones that are slow but decent. So at this point, I've got somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes of good clips and questionable clips. There are some clips that I know I want to keep. Something like a 5-person chain stab taking out a whole NG nest. Those are things I definitely want to keep. Like weird, eventful stuff I can cut. There's stuff that I know I want. And so I'll take those and I'll trim them to get them to the length I want. And that cuts, maybe like, I'm talking about trimming at the ends, not in the middle. So that cuts about, maybe a few minutes off the video. So let's say we're down to 15 minutes of footage. I want to cut another 5 to 10. So at this point, this is where recording gets tricky, because as the person recording, you have to make the decision of what clips you feel aren't good enough. And sometimes it's really hard, because there's clips you want to keep, or, maybe there's dialogue in it, or just something funny happened, but, that's the only thing in the clip, and you can't just show, like, a bunch of 10-second clips while you're doing a commentary, because that would be really distracting. You still need to show, lives and stuff with a actual line progression to it. And so this is where it gets tricky, and you just have to kind of decide, what's your style, what kind of clips do you want? Do you want longer life clips? Do you want, like, more highlights of what happens in each life? And that's just kind of the tricky thing. Personally, I like to show, the best lives I can, not necessarily highlights of what I'm doing, but, what I did in one, singular life as a spy in this video, for example. And that's, the creative process. And for gameplay process, for, doing stuff like this, it takes 2 hours to actually record the thing, and then editing the thing probably takes, an hour or so. Doing the voiceover is another, like, I'm pretty good at it, but sometimes, if you have to redo it, it can take up to 30 minutes to an hour. I've had it take an hour before, it just depends on how involved it is. But it's a lot of work that goes into, just a 5-10 minute video. It's about 3-4 hours of recording, editing, and doing a voiceover, finalizing things, and then tack on to that the rendering of the video and the uploading of the video. It's a long time. A lot of work goes into these, and I'm trying to build sympathy for myself. No, I'm not. I don't know, it's something I really enjoy. I'm not, oh guys, it takes so much work, you should feel sympathy for me. No, it's just, I enjoy doing it. I'm trying to be objective and saying, yeah, it takes a while, but it's totally worth it. Yeah. And that about wraps up the creative process of what goes on in my mind and on the screen for you guys to see, all, 40 of you that watch these now. That's twice as many as the last time I mentioned it. I'm happy that the channel's growing. Yay. So that'll about do it for today's episode of, my inner mechanisms in my brain. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And go recharge your batteries. We got batteries that need some charging. Show them some love. Batteries do not get a lot of love. The only reason I say that is because I have 2 batteries right here that I just recharged my Wiimote with. I'm very distracted today. I'm gonna go take a nap. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.